All right, all right, all right, all right. We're just gonna wait for a couple of minutes for everyone to join. I can see that there is already more than 500 people. It's gonna be an amazing live. I'm hoping that you guys have a lot of energy. Hey Elijah, hey Rim, uh, hey guys, how's it going? Can you please let me know if you hear me well? I'm guessing that if you're all answering in the comments, wow, 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 it's crazy. Okay, more than 1,000 people are live. This is amazing. Okay, number is increasing and it's only 1 minute. So we're just gonna wait for a couple of minutes for everyone to join. Make sure you have on your side your favorite beverage, just so you're gonna make sure that you're gonna have the best time of your life. I've worked really, really, really hard on this webinar. For me, it was extremely important to give back to the community. Make sure that at the end of this webinar, you come up with extremely actionable advices, things that can help you really boost the growth of your business, boost your business. Make sure to say hi whenever you're joining on the chat so we know. You can also put basically where you're from. It's always nice to see that everyone from all over the world. I can see Barcelona, France, Belgium, US. Okay, New York, Miami. Oh my God, Morocco. This is so amazing. I love our international community. This is what this type of event is so amazing. We're just going to start in 1 minute or so in order to really keep this sharp. So you guys, I see a lot of people, even from, so we have, I think we're about for 3 different time zone or 4 time zones. So this is like extremely, extremely exciting. Okay, so basically the idea for this webinar overall, I will come back to this. I will present. I've got a lot of slides that I've prepared. I've got a lot of actionable examples that you will be able to re-implement in your business. There is also a bit of story behind everything, so you can really leverage all the things that I will tell you and that I will share with you. We had more than 5,000 people, or a bit less actually than 5,000 people registering. I know that some couldn't attend, but it's going to be really, really exciting. So I hope that you guys are all pumped up, and I'm guessing that we're going to be able to start. So let me start sharing basically my screen and the beginning of the presentation. Okay, so sharing my desktop. Up. Okay. Okay. Oops, sorry about that. Can you please let me know in the chat if you can see the screen correctly before I get started? If you can see the slides, okay, everyone can see it. It's perfect. There is a big photo of me as always. All right, awesome, awesome, awesome. So I'm gonna get started now that there are almost like 2,000 people on the webinar. It's gonna be really exciting. So the idea of this webinar is to share what I called our $6 million cold email secrets. Why 6 million? Because in less than 3 years, we grew from 0 to 6 million annual recurring revenue using cold emails in order to grow our business. And I want to share with you all the tips that made us so successful. We're going to see how exactly you can create a multi-million-dollar business using cold emails, explaining why cold email is one of the best solutions for you to scale your business. I want to go into details also about and share my secrets of how exactly did I generate millions of dollars for clients worldwide back then. So in 2017, I actually had a lead generation agency. So I know there are a lot of agencies out there. So I'm going to give a lot of tips for you as well. So before we start, because I think this is the most important thing, that way I will be able to make sure to adapt the presentation. Obviously, I've prepared a lot of slides, but I want to make sure that I know you. So first, we're going to make a super simple exercise. Please type in the chat. Type 1 if you're a founder, tab 2 if you work in sales, and tab 3 if you work in marketing. Okay, so things are going extremely fast. I see a lot of founders. I see a lot of people working in sales, and there are also a lot of people working in marketing. So I wasn't, okay, there were 6 out of nowhere. But okay, 1, 2, 3, 2, 2, 2, founder. That's amazing. Okay, the chat is going crazy. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so that's amazing because I've prepared a lot of good stuff for all of you. You see the scarf? I've just saw a comment about that. We'll get to that a bit later. It's part of the story. That's awesome. So founder, sales, marketing, this is for you. Make sure to stay, have your cup of coffee. First things first, did you know that more than 60% of cold email outreach emails aren't actually seen? The reason behind that is that most marketers and sales basically are not putting effort in personalizing their emails. This data is not coming out of nowhere. We've analyzed hundreds of millions of emails sent throughout our 10,000 plus customers worldwide. And what we see is that most of the time, people don't put the effort. Usually the problems are the spray and pray approach, meaning you try to reach out to a lot of people without actually personalizing, finding the right data, the relevance, etc. Approaches are too generic. There is a lack of personalization. Sometimes it's a bit too salesy. And again, even though, like cold emailing is an acquisition channel, so you should always focus on the ROI, return on investment. But again, you must proceed step by step. And I'm going to show you all the secrets to obtain the results that you deserve. So in this webinar, I will share my secret persona framework to use to find new clients. Personas are also called ideal customer profile, which is in essence, the type of customer you want to have in order for your business to skyrocket. A lot of people, there's a lot of content around it, but I have a few tips and a few secrets that no one talks about that will help you really find your new customers thanks to your existing one or find new customers. The second secret I want to share with you is my secret structure of an effective cold email. Everything has been tested for the last 5 years. And in this presentation, I will share all the learnings that we got from the last 5 years using and testing different approaches. I will also share the secret steps to create a successful campaign, because in the end, cold email is all about creating this campaign. And of course, there would be an exclusive announcement at the end. I love gifts, I love surprises, and I've got something really, really cool for you. So what you learn during this webinar: create the ideal persona or ideal customer profile, use your existing clients to find new ones, craft a cold email that gets replies, make your cold email stand out in the crowd, because we know that cold email has been used a lot, but how exactly do you make people to reply? And I will give you all these tips for that. This webinar is for people working in sales, for people working as a founder or marketers, for people like who are working in marketing, recruiters, job seekers. And essentially, basically what you will get, it's you get more replies to your cold email. You want to book more meetings. You want to increase your revenue and sales. It's crazy because there are so many people right now in this webinar that my slides are sometimes a bit lagging. You will generate, or you wish to generate, millions for your business in the same way we did. So I will show you again how to find more clients and how cold emails is the best way to do so. At the end, you'll have a surprise. You'll have 2 surprises for you, but actually the first surprise will come in about 30 minutes. So I hope you have your perfect beverage, you are well seated, and you're ready. I'm just drinking a bit of water because there is a lot of heat. All right. Now, ready to rock. First, I want to make a quick intro. People call me G, but my real name is Guillaume. I'm the CEO and co-founder of Lemlist. We grew from $0 to $6 million in 3 years, bootstrapped. What does bootstrap mean? It means that we started the company with no money. We actually invested only $1,000 on starting the company, which is basically an amount that anyone can start with. Cold emails is cheap, so that was helped us to really increase and scale our revenue stream. Second thing, we have more than 10,000 customers worldwide, and we also built the biggest community around sales automation called the Lemlist family. And I'm sure a lot of you are from the Lemlist family here. Can you type in the chat yes if you are part of the Lemlist family right now? Okay, that's awesome. So I'm gonna do something special for you. Hey, Lemlisters! I'm really happy to see all the community here. It's gonna be really like a dopest event ever. So on top of it, I was a co-founder of a lead generation agency before starting Lemlist, and I generated millions of dollars in revenue for our clients worldwide. using a tons of different approaches that I've tested and that I will share with you today. I also have a master in marketing, and on top of it, I'm initially a chemical engineer, and I have like also a master in chemical engineering. So you're probably wondering, how the fuck did this guy become a cold email expert from being a chemical engineer? Or even, how did you went from being a volunteer at an international event up to speaking in front of thousands of people internationally? In this presentation, I want to share a bit more about my backstory. So this is actually my mom and my dad, not my dad on this photo, they were not brothers and sisters, but my parents grew up in a farm in the southwest of France. My mom was actually uh, coming from Italy, so she was an immigrant, and basically my parents grew up with very little money. They sacrificed a lot, so my brother and me could actually get um, a good education. So as you can see, the scarf has not left me in the last 29 years. They wanted me to study science because for them, becoming an engineer was exactly the same as getting a good job. So I studied science, loved testing new things, loved experimented, and got this kind of mindset and scientific mindset. After that, because I never had the chance to travel because my parents didn't have a lot of money and didn't earn a lot of money, I decided to travel for a year using only social media to stay at people's home for free. At that time, I really understood two things. One, that you can connect with people without knowing them and build extremely meaningful relationships, meaning that people were already happy to offer us their home to stay for free, even though we didn't know them. And the second thing is that I had that feeling of freedom and building relationship with people. And this is something that I wanted to recreate. So when I got back to France, I wanted to start my own business. And because I was a chemical engineer, I decided to start studying back to school. And the business I wanted to start was actually a business with my dad. So to give you a bit more background, essentially, my dad was for a long time had basically two jobs. So he was working as a designer, knew how to print on fabric, and essentially he was basically like helping me to launch this t-shirt business. For me, my dad has sacrificed so much that I really wanted to be able to give back. And this business was the best opportunity for me to do it. So we started a t-shirt business. I put a lot of pressure on my dad to create a lot of t-shirts because I was 100% sure that whenever we would launch a website, we would receive thousands of orders. In the end, we only received 6 orders, which was a total fail. I was crushed, and every time I was looking at my dad, I felt like I had let him down, and it was literally the worst feeling of my life. I know there is a lot of entrepreneurs here today with us, and I want to make sure that I would never let anyone from this community and the amazing community that we've built down. I want to help you succeed. And for me, the path to success was actually when a friend of mine invited me to start a new business with him, a lead generation agency. I knew that I had failed because I couldn't find customers, and I knew I wasn't the only one in that spot. And my friend was a really like a good expert in cold emailing, and we tested and learned so many things together that we built an agency internationally and generated millions for our different customers. But back in 2017, and at the end of the 2017, I decided to sell the share of my agency after meeting these two guys, two technical geniuses, Francois on the right and Vianney on the left, with whom we decided to build Lemlist. Lemlist for us was a way to show to the world that building relationship could be done in a personalized and human way, that sales was about building these relationships. So that's what we decided to do. And from there, we decided to create the best cold email tool on the market. So we were mentioned internationally, ended up #1 on Product Hunt. We built the best team ever created. We also created the coolest community around sales automation called the Lemlist family. And we went from 0 to $6 million in annual recurring revenue. 10,000 plus customers worldwide, including international companies like SAP, Uber, Amazon, and my favorite ones, the SMBs, startup, and scale upwards, because I believe that internationally we can as small and medium business size really change the world. And overall, what happened after that? I got a lot of press, media exposure, got featured in international press. But again, this is not the goal of this event. I really wanted to give you a better overview of who am I, because I know in this event so far, there are like more than 2,000 people participating right now. And I know that a lot of you know me, but a lot of you don't. So I'm not going to spend too much time on me. So it was very quick and brief introduction. So now I want to get straight to the actionable parts. If you know me that I'm not about the bullshit, and I want to give you the best of the best, as we say in French, la crème de la crème. So get ready for it. Why is this live event? Cold email will allow you to get in touch with anyone on the planet. It's also very affordable. Let's face it, if you want to spend ads and get started, you need at least $1,000 to $10,000 if you want to get started and implement things. With cold emails, with a few couple of $100, $200, you have a full setup, the best of the best. It's also scalable. You can reach out to as many people as you want and keep growing your sales and your pipeline. It also allows you to build something very predictive. Later on, my goal is to give you a few surprises, but you will see that based on the number of people you reach out to, you should be able to know how many replies you're going to get and how many deals you're going to get out of it. And that's the beauty of cold email. On top of it, I just want to basically ask you the first question, and you can answer in the chat. Are you ready now to start your cold email journey? Hell yes, 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 yes. I really love that. I really love the enthusiasm you guys all have. More than 2,000 people today. It's amazing. I've just seen someone from my team ping me to tell me that a lot of people are joining right now. So this is amazing to have you all. For those of you who just joined, essentially, I made a quick intro about who I am, why basically it's essential for you to attend this webinar. You will get more sales. I will give you the best actionable tips, la crème de la crème, as I said, or crème de la crème, if I need to say it with basically the English accent. And I want to start really the best and share the best tips that you'll ever think. So now that you're all ready to start, let's start basically giving you a bit of background also of myself. In 2015, I was no one. I was sending cold emails in bulk, not personalizing my emails. I thought that by just adding the tag first name, I was doing personalization or company name. It's not the case, and we'll see why in a minute. I didn't follow up with anyone. I just thought that, blasting and was fine. I kept landing in spam, and I didn't really know about anything about that. And I was trying to sell, meaning that my messages were mainly, here's what I'm offering. Are you interested in buying? Wrong approach, really the worst approach. The goal of cold emailing, one more time, is to build relationships. Build relationships. That's something that you've heard, but what does it mean exactly? I will give you actionable tips on how to do that in a couple of minutes, so stay tuned. Most people right now are trying to sell, which is definitely not what you should do with cold email. When I'm saying trying to sell is if you believe that by sending a cold email, you're going to have people come to your website and purchase something with cold email, then stop. This is not what's going to happen. You're going to ruin your reputation, end up in spam, and really ruin also the reputation and the brand that you're trying to build so hard. So what can you do exactly to achieve good results? Target the correct audience. Personalize your messages and address the real pain points of your prospects. Sending the right number of emails per day, and also using the right tool. Check your email reputation so you can avoid landing your emails in spam. This is also extremely important. The issue with deliverability is it's something that it's very difficult to see. Sometimes you can think, oh, maybe my subject line is not good enough, and that's why my open rate is so low. Truth is, it's often not the case. And we'll get back to that also. We have a little part about it. Follow up in a smart way. As we say in the US, follow up, money is in the follow up. So I want to share also, because I think it's important for you to understand where I come from. I've shared a bit about my backstory and also how I tested things and how I've been testing things since day one. Back then, as you can see on this photo on the left, this is me. I didn't have a lot of money at that time. We were just starting Lemlist. So I decided to hack SaaStr. So SaaStr is one of the biggest SaaS events, and I participated as a volunteer in order to have access to the list of attendees. And this is where I actually booked 44 meetings with one single campaign. That was me here with the group of volunteers. And essentially, by getting the list of attendees, I was able to reach out to specific people. By the way, you're thinking, oh, awesome, G is talking about an event, blah, blah, blah. But this is COVID time. How the hell I'm going to do that? Wait for it. In a couple of minutes, I've got something for you very special. So, subject line. The interest here is about the structure of the cold email. The subject line was first name, let's meet at, and then they were the name of the event. The idea, you will see a lot on many articles out there that you need to keep your subject line short, etc. Here, subject line is pretty long, but it worked really well, and I'm going to share with you the results in a minute because it's specific. Having relevance and specificity will work. If you're going to an event, there is the event name, your name, there is high chances that you want to open the email. So again, second part was bonjour, first name. I always use my French touch because obviously when you see my name, Guillaume, you know that I'm not from the US. So I like to add the little things. It gives a bit of sense of what we call pattern interrupt, meaning that everyone starts their email by hey first name or hello first name. So if you start by bonjour first name or aloha first name or something like that, it's different from what people see. It catches the eye, it catches the attention, and from there, you can start building up. I saw on the SaaStr app that you were coming to the event, so I decided to make a quick video. Here, the video is highly personalized, as you can see. So there is a photo of the person that is dynamically added by Lemlist, which allows to put personalized dynamic messages inside an email. There, the gray square on the back is basically a screenshot of the person I'm reaching out to, which is also dynamically done via Lemlist. So you just have to have the email, and Lemlist will find all this information for you. And then there is for you first name. So essentially, again, adding more personalization onto the email. When people would click basically on there. So, okay, sorry about that, because there is a little delay in the slides. So when people would click, they would end up on a dynamic landing page. On that landing page, there would be a personalized thumbnail again, their first name, and a dynamic landing page. At the end of the message, a chat would pop up, and there would be a personalized message. The video was really simple. The reason why I love video is because it's a great way to connect on a much more emotional level. Right now, I'm speaking in front of my computer, but for you who are actually listening to me, you can feel like basically we're creating a rapport, we're creating a relationship. You feel like you know me, you feel like we're very close. I can even touch you. And essentially, like, this is what's dope about videos. And if you use it, if you're natural, if you're on your own self and you don't sound like a robot, it's amazing. So for me, the message was very specific. It was, hey, I just saw that you were coming onto SaaStr. It would be really amazing if we could connect. I'm a founder of a SaaS company myself. I'd love to exchange tips about growth, acquisition, love to share what has been working well for you. On my case, we did X, Y, Z, and I'd love to share also what worked. Would you be free for a 15-minute coffee? That was basically my message. And from there, I basically got this directly. So I sent out my messages, and within 2 hours, I started receiving tons of messages, of replies. But why exactly did it work so well? I defined clearly my target audience. Whenever people are going to an event, it means that they are interested in that event. So you know their interest. And going to an event shows even more that you are really into something. I crafted the relevant email. The email was automatic for sure, but it was relevant because I knew their interest. I knew why they were coming there. I used the RAS software to do the job. Obviously, without another software, it wouldn't have been possible. But again, right now, the results were amazing. I had 44 meetings, generating a lot of revenue from there. And it was in the very, very early days of Lemlist, which means that at that time, I was really like nobody. No one knew me. I was just this guy, just this French guy, trying to build a software. But just by doing this simple relationship building. So now you're probably telling me, thank you, Guillaume, you're talking about events, but it's fucking COVID. We're under lockdown. So how exactly are we going to make sure to recreate the same thing right now? I'm drinking a bit of water and then I will tell you the story. You can drink also at the same time of me. That way, you know, we're perfectly synced. So this is something very few people know. And actually, I've never seen this anywhere online. So I hope you're going to enjoy it. Essentially, there is something called LinkedIn events. A lot of companies are using it. And the really amazing thing about that is that you can search by using the keywords directly on your LinkedIn search. And then you can filter, as you can see here, with events. So here, what I did is I just simply search for the word sales. Why sales? Because I know that people usually like joining or attending our events, or people who are interested in Lemlist are interested in increasing their sales, boosting their revenue, growing their sales team, etc. So I type this, and the first thing I can see is basically an event from our biggest competitor, Outreach. I click on this event, and then here I can see that there is an event, but I don't see the attendees. I just see like a fucking numbers, 99 people, plus I don't exactly know how many people are joining. So the trick here is to actually click on attend the events. So you're not paying anything, don't worry, it's on LinkedIn. By clicking this, as you can see, I'm gonna get the list of everyone. And here, the beauty of it is by clicking on this, you're gonna have access, as you can see, 1,100 people. So right now, I have a list of more than 1,000 people who are going to a specific event, and I know that they are interested in something. So I've got both the list, both of the people, and also their interest, plus something in common because we're going to go and attend to the exact same event. So this is a very, very easy way to target an amazing list of people. And now you might be saying, okay, cool, Guillaume, but it's just the list of people on LinkedIn. There are 1,000 people. How exactly I'm going to extract that, get the emails and everything? I've got you covered for this. So first step, you're going to use a tool called Phantom Buster. Phantom Buster will allow you to scrape data. Scrape mean extracting. So you're going to extract that list, and they have something very specific for it, which is called LinkedIn Event Guest Exporter, will allow you to extract the event attendees automatically. You just have to copy paste the URL, and then they will pull out everything. Then the list you will have, you will simply put it into a data enrichment tool. Here I mentioned Drop Contact. If you're in the US, you might use Clearbytes or any other data enrichment tool. I personally like Drop Contact because they verify the email address, and essentially your bounce rate is extremely low, which is really good for deliverability. Come back to that in a minute. And after that, you use Lemlist to send your cold emails in the same way I did to build relationships. So this is really an amazing way for you to get relevancy, find the right people, get a list in a few clicks based on specific keywords. Based on the events, something that I didn't mention, but you should always do it, obviously, is to go here and start checking what the event is about, etc. So you can use this as icebreakers into your messages. So let me, okay. Now let's have a little question time. Can you type in the chat if you like, one, if you like this first secret, and two, if you want some more secrets? Okay, 1, 2, 2, 2, 2, 1, 2, 2, 2. Okay, that's awesome. I'm still amazed whenever I see like the chat going crazy like this. So many people right now. I need to drink water because I'm putting a lot of energy. I see so many loves. Ah, that's great. I'm super excited, guys. What's coming next is really, really amazing. More secrets to share and also an amazing surprise. All right, all right, all right. So this secret is something that you've never seen online. And I was really, really happy to share it, especially during this time where, you know, we're always wondering, how do you find what people are interested in? How do you find the events? How do you find online events, the list of people, etc.? And this is the best. So because you wanted it, I'm going to keep sharing my secrets. In 20 minutes, actually from now, we will get also really the best surprise. So get ready for that as well. So I'm sharing secret, giving you surprise. Today, I'm really like a giver. So I'm so happy that we are like thousands of people we can enjoy from all over the world. This is really, really exciting. Now it's about personas. This topic might sound a bit boring because it's usually like something, you do at a company, and you don't always really understand why and how you need to do it. And a lot of people talk about it in a very theoretical way. I want to give you extremely actionable tips about personas. Personas, usually they look like this. Essentially, it's a resume. You have the picture of the person, their name, last name, past to purchase, goals and objectives, how exactly did they hear about us, their profile. So age, country, hobbies, interest, what do they love, what do they talk about. This is really great. Usually it's done by the marketing team. It's great because it allows you to understand how exactly I'm going to address someone whenever I'm reaching out to them. However, how the fuck do you go from this to a LinkedIn search? And this is, like whenever you're on LinkedIn, because if you're working in B2B, usually you're going to have, okay, I'm in B2B. I need to find clients, leads, and customers. I'm going to go on LinkedIn. And now I went from, oh, Josh is a dog lover. He loves to go on hiking. He loves to do sports, etc. Up to, okay, this is the filters I've got. What's the company size? What's the company name? Location, position, years of experience, industry. How the hell am I connecting the dots? And I'm guessing this is also part of the huge issue of why we see marketing and sales always trying to kill each other. So let me try to have a piece in the world and explain how exactly do you connect the dots and make sure that marketing and sales can work together. So essentially, I'm going to talk about a secret framework we've been using, which is called the scrapable persona. I talk a bit about scraping early on, which essentially is the ability to extract the data. So the scrapable persona is a persona that, based on very various characteristics, you'll be able to extract data from it and gather your list of prospects. The goal is to reuse the same filters and leverage LinkedIn filters in order to understand and get your perfect targeting. Because targeting, whenever you're doing outreach, I know that this might sound boring, but targeting is really 80 to 90% of the work. If you have the right targets, and even though your copywriting is not top notch, but if your targeting is right, you will increase and skyrocket your reply rates. So in order to go further, I'm going to give you a few examples. Let's say that, we're going to want to translate the goals, needs, and objectives into filters. For example, if there is a new VP sales in a company, usually what they do is that they try to change the entire process because they are new and they want, to make sure that they're coming with experience. So they're going to change tools, they're going to change processes, and they're going to try essentially to double sales. So we're going to try to see how exactly could we find this on Sales Navigator. We're going to see that there are two filters that are interesting. So the first one, let's say that because there is a new VP sales, they want at least to double the overall sales. So if your goal is to double sales, what you can do is basically go into Sales Navigator, go into the department headcount growth, and here you've got a filter. If you want someone that's going to double their revenue, the chances are that these persons are actually going to try to increase the number of sales reps they have in their company. So if you're looking for companies who are growing rapidly and essentially are structuring themselves, etc., the department headcount growth is extremely important. So if, for example, if you're a digital agency and you're looking for people increasing their spending in marketing, this is also helpful for marketing. You can see that if the department is growing, it means that there are much higher chances that people are spending more, etc., etc. And you could just do that per department and also per company. But again, like, how exactly do you know that the VP sale just arrived and that he want to change things? So first, objectives. If the objectives are high, company is hiring a lot, meaning that department growth is the best way and best filter to find that. Second thing, if you go in depth into the LinkedIn Search Navigator filters, so you have to click more on Sales Navigator, you will see exactly in years in current position. So from there, you just have to click there and you can put from 0 to 3 months, which essentially will push you the best updates of people who have just joined the company. That way, you can make sure that you are aware whenever there's someone joining a company, and you can make sure that you target them at the right time. you now have, thanks to these two filters, relevancy, because you know that the company is growing fast, and timing, because timing is everything. If I'm looking for something today, I might not be looking for that same thing tomorrow. And that's thanks to these two filters, in a very simple way, you can build your scrapable persona. So by doing this, you go back to your original persona and you start building it with the scrapable persona model. Again, how exactly do you basically can find all these new people? You need to use, on top of it, you use your existing customers. So here, for example, I would go onto the LinkedIn profile of one of my of one of our customers. I would check what exactly is their job title. Here, I've just taken someone from my team, Simon. You can follow him on LinkedIn if you like. And essentially, he's a B2B outbound sales expert. So you might be thinking, oh yeah, I thought marketing said that we needed to target SDR. Yeah, but SDR, are they calling themselves SDR all the time? No, sometimes it's different. Sometimes they have a different job title. So find your customers, find them on LinkedIn, and check their job title. Use this to find other and relevant people. Later on, actually, I've got a very unique trick that no one shares and very few people know. I will share that in about 10 minutes. So stay tuned. Again, once you know the person, how exactly do you find and fill in all the different characteristics of the person? You click on the company. It's on LinkedIn. So find the industries they've put on LinkedIn. Find out how many people are working there. Find out the description. Find out how frequently do they post on LinkedIn. Find out what type of content they like. So for example, you just have to go whenever you're on a profile of someone, you just have to go to the post section. And whenever you go to the post section, you'll be able to see what these people have liked. And based on what they've liked, you can find more customers and more people that are actually liking the same thing. Because let's say something like if you start having a lot of customers, let's say, I don't know, 100 to 1,000, when the amounts start becoming very statistically relevant, at that time, finding these persons and finding the type of content they like can really help you actually boost your outreach. Because again, those are the type of things you need for your icebreakers. We're going to see that again in a couple of minutes. So are you excited to see what's next? I gave you a little bit of teasing. Comment yes if you are excited for the next. So this was second secrets. I have 2 more to go. Oh my God, so many people. This is amazing, guys. I'm happy that you're staying like awake. I'm trying to give you as much energy as I have right now. I'll probably pass out at the end of this webinar, but really, for me, it was really tough to share all these secrets, because those are the things that help us really like generate millions of dollars in revenue. And a lot of things really like were kept secret, but I was like, okay, I want to give everything to you guys. So let's go. Let's keep rocking. Now we're going to see about the secret structure of an effective cold email. First, before getting really into the details of copywriting, I just want to spend a bit of time regarding to deliverability. What is deliverability? In short, you need to see an inbox exactly in the same way as a nightclub. In front of a nightclub, you have the bouncer. Usually, they are about my size and same structure. No, I'm just kidding. They are like much taller and really like pumped. And basically, if you want to enter a nightclub, if people don't know you, if you pretend that you're knowing the DJ, but you don't, if you are dressed in a weird way, people are not going to let you in. For emails, it's exactly the same thing. The bouncer are actually the spam filters. And if they see you and think that you are a bit dodgy, they don't know your reputation, etc., they're not going to let you in. So the question is, how exactly do you build your reputation? Essentially, the first step is a warm-up. When you create an email address, your email needs to be warmed up, meaning that you need to exchange email replies, etc., in the same way you would do it with a normal human being, as if you were creating your mailbox and you want to start using it. So the goal behind what we built at Lemlist called Lemwarm is to do that automatically. This is really good for warm-up, but on top of it, it's also really good to boost your deliverability. Because with Lemlist, I mentioned we have 10,000 plus customers worldwide, meaning that we have tens of thousands of users worldwide, meaning that we have hundreds of different parameters when it comes to mailboxes, age, reputation, is the setup correct, etc., etc. And we can make them really connect between each other, send unique messages, send replies, etc., in order for you to really boost your deliverability and always reach out the inbox. So whenever we see that one of our users is sending message and it end up in spam, we really put the spam back into the inbox folder, giving all the good signals to the ISP, sorry, so Internet Service ESP, email service provider, sorry. So I talk about technical setup. There is a deliverability checklist. I will explain at the end why we won't go until the 11 and all the tips, but stay tuned. Most important part, technical setup. You need to set up both the SPF and DKIM, which are essentially what we would be called like the ID card of your domain. Same as when you're entering, you know, like a nightclub, they want to show your ID. SPF and DKIM are exactly the same thing. On top of it, you need to set up what we call a custom tracking domain, meaning that whenever you're sending email, if you want to track people who have opened, people who are clicking, you need to do that under the same domain that is sending the emails. That way it shows that you're controlling everything on your own and it's not something shared among a lot of users like tools like MailChimp or any like newsletter tools is doing. Really something also really good, because a lot of people always ask me this question, what exactly is a good open rate? To me, if your open rate is below 50%, it means that you have an issue with your deliverability. Your open rate should be above 60%. And if it's between 50 and 60, it might be either way. Either your deliverability, you have an issue in the setup, or it's a subject line. But don't worry, we'll get back to that second part a bit later. Second thing, put an opt-out link. It's important. If people don't want to hear from you, you need to make sure that they do. Keeping your bounce rate low. So essentially, we're going to get back to that nightclub. I'm not sure why I'm talking about this, but I think it's a good image. So I hope it's very relevant for you. But essentially, like the bounce rate, it's, okay, am I sending emails to an email address that exists or not? If you use email addresses that don't exist, and you send the email, it will bounce, meaning that you're not going to be able to enter in the inbox because it doesn't exist anymore. You need to see this exactly in the same way as if you were going to a nightclub and then the bouncer is asking you, okay, if you want to get in, you need to give me the DJ name. And then you give a wrong name because you think that, yeah, the DJ, it must be like Jack or Sam or whatever, you know? If it's not the wrong name, you'll be bounced out. And it's the same thing with email. So make sure that you're actually using a tools that will allow you to really get verified email address, because if you keep bouncing, your domain reputation will decrease and essentially your emails won't be read. So back to the structure. Before we get straight to this, I'm just gonna drink a little bit. So if you have your beverage next to yourself, take a sip for me. If you have Red Bull, I should have been taking this. All right. More energy into Evian water. So, perfect structure of the cold email. I know a lot of people try to explain extremely complex framework, etc. I like to keep things simple because simple is beautiful. 4 things: subject line, intro line, your pitch, call to action. You will see that whenever I'm saying your pitch, it's actually not really a pitch. And we'll get back to that in a couple of minutes. So the goal of the subject line is obviously to intrigue your prospects, set expectation, and get your email opened. What we've seen first is that deliverability is the most important part, because if your email are not delivered and they don't end up in the inbox, the chances that people are actually gonna go into their spam folder, check for your email, open it, are close to 0. So technical setup, deliverability setup, then you can think about the subject line. With a subject line, once you have a good subject line, you can get your email opened. So what exactly is a good subject line? Keep it short. It's usually like a good tip, but even though it's not always the case, here again, 2 out of 20 tips. I'll explain later why I'm not sharing all the tips right now. So keep it short and personalize it. For example, coffee, question mark, lunch, question mark, gross lunch. So gross lunch would be a bit more personalized. So for example, if you're targeting people working in gross, using gross lunch is something that can be working pretty well. I'll actually share in about 5 or 10 minutes the story behind a cold email that brought thousands of dollars in revenue. And it works well, this really quick and short subject line just because, this is a typical email you would receive from someone you know. Partnership, company name, and the name of your company. It works well because it's intriguing and it will trigger curiosity. Company name, I'm a fan of. That would also work. You're always, especially if you're targeting basically CEOs, because as CEO myself, I'm always curious to know why people are a fan of a specific thing that I built. And also, it's a genuine compliment. Who doesn't like compliment once in a while? And we'll also get back to that part regarding the icebreakers or intro line. So let's do something fun. Now, in the chats, please let me know which email would you open first, number 1 or number 2? Two. All right. Okay, that's awesome. I can see that. Okay, we are only among experts. So, yeah, really interesting. A lot of, oh my God, this is amazing. We have like, I don't know, thousands of people here, thousands of people exciting. That's really great. That's really great. So essentially here, why exactly would people would open number 2? It's simple. We all receive tons of email. The first one is from a corporate, it's from a company, it's not even personal. Whereas the second email, it's from Haley. Who is Haley? I don't know. But it starts with a compliments. Congrats on the $6 million milestone, Guillaume. Guillaume, I've just read your latest LinkedIn post about Lemlist hypergrowth, blah, blah, blah. At least it's personalized. There is something personalized in there. I took a screenshot early on. It's nice. Like I was like, oh, this is good for the live, like I can share this. Whereas the first thing is very self-centered. This is actually one of the biggest mistake, and we've all been there. So if you've done this in the past, it's okay, but don't do it later on. I used to start my emails with, hello, first name, my name is Guillaume, and I'm the blah 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 doing XYZ. This is boring. No one cares about you. People mostly cares about themselves first. If you want to build a report, it's the same thing. Because we are in the party mood and everything, if you are at a party and there is someone coming back to you and you say, hey, I'm Guillaume, I'm the CEO and co-founder of Lemlist. I grew my company from $0 to $6 million in less than 3 years. We have 10,000 plus customers. We're generating millions, blah, blah. You will be like, who the fuck is that French prick? Like, seriously, is only talking about himself. It doesn't work. This is not how you build relationships. You build relationship with questions. You build relationship by being interested in the other person, wanted to learn more. And the truth is with cold email, because you need to break the ice, you need to find all this information about the person prior to reaching out. That's how you build a genuine relationship. So another tips, focus on the prospect and show that you took time to get to know them before getting in touch. Start building relationships from the intro line, because something you saw actually in the screenshots, there were a little trick there. I show obviously the subject line, but as you can see, what we see on mobile or even on your laptop, we see I think it's between 150 and 240 characters after the subject line. It also depends on the size of the subject line, obviously, whenever you're on desktop and on mobile and on different devices. But intro line is an amazing way for you to really boost your deliverability. I see a lot of people focusing only on the subject line when actually intro line can also really get a huge boost for your open rates. So the idea is to go from, hey, first name, I'm G, co-founder and CEO at Lemlist, blah, blah, blah. From this part to, hey, Alex, love your last post about how you manage your hypergrowth, or a content that you've seen, something that is very relevant, etc., that allows you to break the ice and start building this relationship. And this is why I'm going to talk about something a bit personal, the tiramisu approach. We started this approach at Lemlists, and the reason why we called it tiramisu, as I mentioned, my mom came to France with immigrants from Italy, and essentially tiramisu, it's my favorite dessert. And I wanted to find something because icebreaker, I don't like it. It's like, first, I don't like cold, and you have to break it. And when you start a relationship, I want things to be smooth. Tiramisu actually means pull me up. Tira, it's like pull, me, and su is up. So pull me up is like cheer me up. So it's basically adding this little sweet to your email that allows to build this relationship. So tiramisu is, you can call it icebreaker or intro line if you want, but I much prefer my version of it. And I wanted to share that with you. And I think it's pretty cool to cheer me up, start with something, you want to build relationship. In the end, it's amazing to build relationship. You reach out to people you don't know, and they can become your friends. They can become people you exchange later, people you work with, people you work for, people that became customers. And it's amazing the opportunity that you can create with that. Actually, I want to share a secret a bit later on. That's going to be amazing. So here, an example of tiramisu. Just finished listening to your interview. The Salesman podcast was quite interesting to hear talk about ego states and give context around all three you mentioned. This is a great way because I show interest, I show I cared, I researched what they were saying, how they were saying it, and I'm trying to build relationship based on that. How exactly to do that? Very specifically. Either you use Google Sheets, meaning that you're on the profile of someone, you're going to upload a Google Sheet, put their name, last name, type your tiramisu sentence or intro line, and then enrich with a data enriching tool to find their emails, and then start reaching out. Or you open the Lemlist Chrome extension on their profile, and here you have the icebreaker, so you can start typing it directly in there. From there, essentially, the goal of your pitch, just to recap, is to connect your prospect needs to your solution and also spark their interest. Now that we're moving from intro line, so let's take a big step back here. We started discussing about the deliverability, meaning are your emails ending up in the inbox? I've told you what you need to do or what are the most essential things that you need to do in order for you to have the best deliverability possible. Technical setup, lemworm setup, and basically make sure that you use email addresses that are verified. Then we saw the subject line. Make sure that you're intriguing. Make sure that it looks casual. Make sure that you're not trying to mislead your prospects. Second thing, intro line, or what I call the tiramisu strategy. Cheer me up. Make something. Make sure that you are really interested in the prospect. Make sure that you want to build that relationship. If you don't mean it, it's not going to work. If you don't want to meet the person you reach out to, don't do it. Whenever you're building relationship, you need to mean it. And to mean it, you need to do the research. Spend the time, do the research, and you'll see that the results are 10 or 20 times higher than what you're doing right now if you're just spraying and praying. And now, let's connect the dot with your pitch. The goal of your pitch is to connect your prospect needs to your solution, but also spark their interests. What you can do with that? Connect through shared experience and send meaningful content. Focus on your prospect needs and do not focus on your sales pitch. Here, I could go into much detail on that part, but I'd rather go through something actionable because I'm not about too much theoretical and I want to show you a bit of example. First, the last part is a call to action. Call to action is really important because it's essentially allowing the person to know what they need to do at the end of their email. And your goal is to book meetings. So what we're going to do, and we want to show that they have interest. Be short and on point, capture their attention by a personalized call to action. Now, let's connect the dot. As I mentioned, I'm not going to spend too much time on that. I will explain a bit later in 5 minutes why exactly there was 2 out of 9, etc. Let's look at an example sent from Anael from my team. Subject line is intriguing. You are the discovery of my name, of my day, first name. Second thing, intro line is focused about them. I came across your LinkedIn first name and I love it. The idea here is also to use the pattern interrupt approach. As I was mentioning, everyone started by, hey, first name, hello, etc., etc. She started the sentence straight away, as if I was typing to a friend. You know, like I don't need to say hello. Every time you say, look at your WhatsApp messages. Have a look right now at your WhatsApp or Messenger messages. Tell me if whenever you reach out to someone, you say hi or hello. or this type of thing. No, you don't. You just start the sentence. And this is the same. Make it look casual, make it look natural. Then there is obviously this image. With the image, it's personalized because the LinkedIn profile of the person would be directly put on the laptop. There is a smile, you see a photo of a person, which is a great way for you to also connect on a much more personal level with the people, because usually, as I mentioned, for me, photos and videos are really great because they allow you to see with the person reaching out to me on a cold email. I didn't know that person. Now I see a face, I see a smile, I see someone that, you know, I might want to meet, or I don't know, you know, but it's more about the feeling, you know. 1 second, need to drink a bit. And then there is a tiramisu. So the icebreaker. Here is the example of a typical icebreaker. I was following you for a while and I really liked your recent article on influencer communication, both informative and fun. It shows that she did the research, read the last article. She could have had, for example, I don't know the name of the article, maybe like one quote of the article to make it even more personalized, but still it showed interest. It showed that she did the work, which is better than, I would say, 99.9% of the cold email I receive. Then the pitch is very not salesy. I'm very curious to know your best practice in digital marketing because I'm sure you would be a great source of inspiration to help me move up a gear on social network. The call to action is also pretty clear because essentially she gives a specific day. She leaves a choice for the hour, which I wouldn't do. I think it's always better, you know, whenever you do like, would you prefer 2 p.m. on 3 p.m. on a Thursday or something very specific? That way, the less choice the person has, the better. Because right now, what the person has to do is like go to his Thursday and see when exactly should I put this? Should I put this before lunch or after lunch? Should I put this close to this? Or am I going to get a meeting at that time? Whereas if you say 2 p.m. or 3 p.m., it's only two options. And if they say I'm not available at that time, then they can offer another option. But again, it's the idea is to get the first yes, get the first the relationship getting started building, and eventually, you know, like things get smoother and you can start the relationship, start the conversation. Cherry on top, I think PS is really, really good because PS allow you to add additional information at the end of your email. Here in her PS, she's basically sharing a little more things that about herself. So here I'm going to read it. I didn't want to bother you with it, but it's not very polite to show up. I work in marketing for SaaS that relies on people to break the codes on the tech world. I would love to tell you more about how we help agencies, blah, 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 blah. So again, pretty interesting how she can help building that relationship. Type of results that she got, it's an onboarding, like it's a networking campaign, so it lasts for a long of time. So it's a 220 people reach out to, 87% open rate, and 79 reply in total. So 35%, almost 36. So this is the type of things you get whenever you're doing personalization. And you can even get stuff even better, but actually like this is really good results that you can get by doing this type of things, by putting the work. Because in the end, whenever you build relationships, you need to show the people that you care. Short recap. What have we seen so far? We've seen the secret framework to define your persona. So now you know how you can use your existing customers to find new one. I will reveal another secret about that in a couple of minutes. You know also how exactly you go from a boring persona that has been done by marketing team or whatever up to something that's extremely actionable that you can use directly on LinkedIn called the scrappable persona. From there, you can also use the dynamic filters and everything. From there, we also discussed, how to use your existing clients to find new ones, what the secret structure of an effective cold email, how exactly do you wisely choose your subject line. Don't be deceptive, short and sweet, working casually, work also on the intro line. We also show how to write an effective intro, how to write your pitch and connect it with what you just said before, how to write a powerful CTA, giving limited type of action, and the secret framework, of a successful cold email campaign. Question for you on the chat, just to make sure that you're still alive. Do you enjoy the webinar until now? All right. I like to ask this question. I see my screen with tons of yes. This is crazy. 2,000 people and more. Mm. Don't worry, there is more, and I still haven't told you the amazing surprise that's coming in a couple of minutes. Awesome. So, secret step to create a successful campaign. Now, I want to share a personal story. I love stories, but this one was particularly great because I like it because it was back in the day. I never shared it anywhere, but at that time, no one knew me. When I was posting on LinkedIn, I got like very little reach, and I was just grinding hard, acquiring customers using cold emails, trying to reach to that first $1 million in annual recurring revenue. This campaign generating more than $100,000 in revenue, and I think since then the number has increased with all the different things. And I want to share something very true and important for you. A lot of people think that whenever you're doing sales, it's all about going a client to another or a prospect to another, closing, 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 closing. How many prospects? How many am I closing? And you're done. The truth is that relationships is like a neural network, meaning that one person has its own network and another person has another network. So the more you meet people, the more network you can enter. And today I want to show you a secret that will change, I hope, your life, because for me, it's something that I've implemented for myself, for my teams, and overall the results are always amazing. So people don't focus on building relationships. They often don't have the best approach to connect with others. They always try to sell. We've seen that. And whenever you're doing cold email, this is not the right approach. So why is networking so important? Whenever you're networking, you can, one, meet potential business partners. Two, get intro to new businesses. That's when I mentioned the different neural network. One person knows 100 or 1,000 person you can get access to if you start building relationship to. We can think about it in business. Sometimes it's difficult to think about it. The thing I really like to refer to is our normal life, like outside of business, I would say. So for example, you meet someone new. That person already has friends. Whenever you're going to do a party or, I don't know, go to restaurants, that person might invite you to a friend's dinner. And then you're going to meet their friends, and their friends have friends, and you can meet their friends again. It's the exact same thing in business. One person should open many doors for you, and you should always leverage it, whether you are a founder, someone working in growth and marketing, or someone working in sales. And on top of it, you can learn from people, get business recommendation. In short, networking opens up endless doors. I see a lot of people whenever they're trying, like they have the pressure of the quota. So whenever you're working in sales, people will tell you, you need to close that amount of deal, bring that amount of MRR or ARR or annual recurring revenue. The truth is, if you take your time, you're going to build network effects. Network effect takes time. It's exactly the same as a lead generation strategy. It's not something that's going to open up doors from the day to another. It's something you have to do in the long run. Keep building your network, keep meeting people, keep sending these cold emails that will open you doors. Because let's face it, if you meet someone, best case scenario, they are looking for your product or service or the solution that you are selling. Good. I started building network. I started like building this relationship. You're a good fit. Let's go. Second option, they're not interested in your software or service, but they like you. So you might ask, do you know anyone in your network that might be interested in? And then you can get a list of people you can reach out to on behalf of someone, meaning that your reply rate at that time would be much higher. And then you keep building your network like this, opening doors, getting recommendation. That's why I'm going to tell you this story. How exactly do you find people to network with? The first step is to find one of your existing customers. So here, for example, Tammy, working at Amazon, I just type her name directly onto LinkedIn Sales Navigator. And this is something very few people do, which still amazed me because we always see on Sales Navigator the big save button, which very few people use. But next to this, there is a dot, dot, dot. The dot, dot, dot will allows you to get view similar. This is helpful for two things, finding prospect or hiring people. So for example, if you want to hire someone, you can find top talent, click on view similar, and you get a lot of similar profile. If you want to network with people, you can find an existing customer, someone that you like to, someone that you look upon to. Click on this dot, 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 and basically click on view similar. What happened when you do that? You would basically get to a whole new page with hundreds of people you can connect to who have similar process. Now, what you do, it's pretty simple. From there, oops, sorry, you will just click on the Lemlist Chrome extension, put people into a campaign and into a networking campaign because you have the list of all the persons. And here is a typical example of emails that I would send. I was A/B testing the subject line, lunch or gross lunch. Here, intro sentence, trying to build intrigue. I was checking your profile, LinkedIn first name, and I thought I'd reach out with a quick video for a change. The video, clickable thumbnail, me holding a whiteboard, and the first name of the person would replace automatically. Then there is a little trick I use, which is a question referring to something that was in the video. Do you think we should go for it? If you read this question by just reading the email, you would be, what the fuck is he talking about? It must be something he said in the video. And now with this simple sentence, there is the idea of exactly, you know, like you're asking yourself this question, you want to learn, you want to know why. So you're going to click on the video. Video, still something super simple. Hey, I was checking your profile, love what you guys are doing at, and then I would mention the company. I can add, you know, extra things, read your article about XYZ. I think that what you're doing is really relevant, really cool. I'd love to have a lunch with you or a coffee or whatever, just 15 to 30 minutes of your time so we can catch up. I'm G, I've done XYZ, here's what I can bring you, or here's what I can bring to the table. Always do that, you know, because it's good to make your pitch about the person, but you need to link it towards to the thing that you can bring up. This is really, really important. At that time, I was nobody, but I had built a community. I had my community, and the community was smaller at that time, but still, I had built a community. We're growing really fast. We're growing 2x. I did XYZ. I had my agency where I did this, this, this. We all have interesting stories to tell. Whether you're working in sales, in marketing, in growth, you have something. You have learned something recently. The last things you learn can be beneficial to someone who doesn't know this. So mention it in your video. Always happy to exchange, always happy to chat. Whenever they were clicking, they would end up on that video of me. As you can see, I love to put my hand like this whenever I'm saying hi to someone. And there were something personalized, their first name, and a Calendly just below where they could book a meeting directly with me. This is done automatically with Lemlist, by the way. On the next slides, essentially, out of the 32 people I reached out to, I met 11 of them and received messages like this one. Hey, G, sure, let's have a lunch next week, free on Tuesday. I'm also organizing a dinner with the heads of growth at 4 top companies on Thursday. Do you want to join? Here again, networking, not trying to sell. What does it do? It opens doors. A new dinner that I attended where I met amazing people, etc. And this type of things happen all the time if you're trying to build relationships. Because if you build relationships, people will like you or not, but eventually most people will like you, I hope. And step by step, you're going to start having doors that get open more easily, meeting people that can connect you with others. So I decided to list all the opportunity I got with this campaign. Something super interesting here, is that I only reached out to 30 people at that time. It was a small campaign for me, but I wanted to test something new. I got 25 intros to relevant prospects. I closed half of them, and I'm not counting that as part of the total revenue. I signed an enterprise client. So I started like networking. We end up like connecting really well. They needed something, and I closed them. Half of the people I met were actually in the scale-up startup scene. I closed half of them, so they became customers, which generating more than 60K a year. So in total, it was more $100,000 per year generated with this simple networking cold email campaign. So extra tips for you. But first, really remember this, like networking will open so many doors. It's really the best way to connect with people, really the best way to keep building and keep growing your audience. So if you're trying to build relationships rather than selling, the results won't work. The results are always more efficient. If you're trying to sell, it doesn't work that much. Bring value is always higher than close a deal. I know that sometimes, and it's the same thing, whenever you're doing discovery call. The idea is whenever you're reaching out to your targets, you have zero way of knowing whether or not the person is going to be interested or not in your service. The only way to know if it's someone posting, hey, I'm looking for XYZ, and this is the solution you're offering. Otherwise, you don't know. They might be in your target, they might be your persona, they might fit a certain type, but you never know. They can be using a competitor, doing something else, happy with the way they're doing their thing at the moment. So for you, the only way is to bring value. Ask the right question, build relationship, because if they are happy with a competitor, it's not an issue, but they might recommend you to someone else. And eventually later on or later down the road, they might change company and contact you instead of someone else. Or they might think that, yeah, maybe it's time for a change. So build relationship, bring value, and you will see that it's always better than trying to close a deal at all costs. Don't be that pushy salespeople. It doesn't work. I know it's a pleasant feeling to close, etc., but in the end, it doesn't work. Bringing value will always be a better option in the long run. On top of it, getting intros from people who value you most is a clear advantage. So if you build relationships, people are happy to make intros. Really, like if I network with someone, I find them super friendly, I'll be like, yeah, sure, like I make an intro. It doesn't cost me anything. So now I've got a question for you, and we're coming really close to the end and the surprise. So do you feel like your time is well spent? All right. It's been super, super exciting. I've got like a few surprises coming down the line. So I'm really hoping that you guys are excited for it. It's so crazy to see thousands of people commenting on the chat like this. Okay, awesome. Another question for you. Have you enjoyed this webinar so far? All right. Don't worry, I still have enough energy for the surprise of everything. And my third question to you, are you ready for my big surprise? All right. So let's get straight to it. I know I've teased you a lot for this webinar, so let's go. I've worked really, really hard on the best cold email outreach masterclass ever created. My goal for you during this webinar was to showcase a lot of secrets, but the truth is, during the last years, I've been testing hundreds and hundreds of different things, and I've learned a lot. This type of secrets, this type of example, I've got hundreds, and I've decided to create a masterclass where I would be able to go from the beginning until the end on how to do all the steps I've mentioned, but in really actionable way. Here, I've analyzed the things, but I haven't shown you into details exactly how you can do it and showcase the results. So I decided to build a masterclass. In this masterclass, I will reveal 7 secrets that help us to reach $6 million in 3 years. 7 sessions with clear explanation of how to create successful cold email strategy for your business. Tens of actionable tips on how to write the perfect cold emails, because in the end, copywriting is extremely important whenever you're doing your outreach. Tens of successful cold email strategies that get replies. I give you an example with networking. I have 10 other ways to reach out to people in a smart and very sensational way in order for you to build better relationships and start getting more business. Exclusive templates that score double-digit reply and conversion rate. Dozens of successful campaigns example that you can replicate for your business. This is all the things that I've put inside my masterclass. What this masterclass is not a presentation of information that you can find everywhere on the internet. The content out there is great if you are like a company that is good in SEO, etc., and that want to share kind of content for the robots. It's not what I do. I give actionable tips because I've been there, because this is what I'm doing. It's not, again, a boring speech on how to cold email with endless pages of theory. I think you've seen it in that live. I always give specific example. Truth is, we didn't have time to cover everything, so I wanted to do something that is really like out of anything that has been created before. It's not, again, a masterclass of a cold email guru. We start to give advice out of nowhere. I spent 5 years testing, testing, and testing in order to get the best results. And I've scaled my team to do the same thing. And so far, the results we're having, the things that I've shared, are also coming from the team because they are nailing it. And in the masterclass, I wanted to gather everything and create the best thing ever created. So it will be videos basically of a masterclass. You'll discover a vision of cold email and strategy that brought us millions in revenue. Secret to email outreach. Second thing, the secret to define your target. I gave you tips about ICP, but there are more things that you can leverage. And again, you need all these frameworks. You need to test them. You need to have something or someone that have done it, that have tested so many things that can help you build this persona. So I will share a lot of unique templates that we use for our company that has helped us to really boost. Something I didn't mention actually is that in parallel to Lemlist, I also grew Lempod on the side, a project that I sold after 18 months of hypergrowth. I've been using similar approach to grow and have an hypergrowth on both companies, so I know that it's replicable. Secret number 3 is how to get in touch with anyone on earth. I've talked about LinkedIn, but there are actually tons of other ways to gather data, get data from your prospect, find insights, find the best icebreakers. And I have so many things I wanted to share, but it wouldn't have a fit in this type of presentation. Again, deliverability. Early on, I give you like a few tips, but actually it's a complex topic. So I wanted to go really in depth, show you actionable things that you can do in order for you to really, really boost your deliverability. Secret of cold emails that get responses. It's really something that I wanted to work on the copywriting because I know that this is the most important part also to get your replies. So the more you see examples, the more you see someone explaining you into details how it looks like, what you should do, the better. Secrets behind the follow-up. Unfortunately, we didn't really have time to talk a lot about follow-ups, but actually, this is where you can get creative. This is where you can bring even more value to your audience. And this is something I wanted to share in this masterclass. So money is in the follow-up. I will give you all the tips. How many days do you need to wait? What are the things you need to think of? What strategy to implement in order to have a really good story to tell? 7 was probably one of the best parts also, successful cold email campaigns. I've shared a bit networking and all these type of things, but there are many more things that you can do to have an hyper growth, whether you work in marketing, sales, or are an entrepreneur that wants to drive really a ton of leads and a ton of business. I wanted this part to be extremely actionable, so it will be really about things that we've done when I've got results from A to Z. So let's recap. $6 million cold email secrets. All the secrets from this masterclass have been tested for more than 5 years. The same secret helped me to generate millions of dollars for my clients when I had the lead generation agency back in the day, and reach $6 million in ARR, so annual recurring revenue with Lemlist in 3 years. Here's what you're gonna get. Lifetime access to 34 actionables video breaking down cold email strategies, exclusive resources, exclusive templates that score double-digit reply and conversion rates. First bonus, access to all courses updates. My private Slack community. So I've got a private Slack community where I answer all questions. My team is there, outbound experts, sharing tips, the best of the best. Again, la crème de la crème, the best of the best. Bonus 3, weekly private calls for 6 weeks. I didn't want to open the masterclass and this to a lot of people. Initially, I wanted to have something very specific. So I want to have group calls. Group calls are great because we can share tips, exchange strategy, what's working, what's not working, and you will be with the best people that are the most trained on email outreach, the most successful, sharing their tips live for 6 weeks with you, where you can ask your question, talk about your problems, etc. The total value is worth more than 4K, almost 5K. So I talk about a gift because I'm generous and I wanted really like to share this type of things. For me, what's important is to give back. I don't want to sound like pretentious or anything or condescending, but our company is making millions. You've seen it. If you know us, you know that Lemlist is growing exponentially. I think that if there is no price, there is no value. But I want this, like to be accessible to everyone, because back in the day when, like I disappointed my dad, I failed my business, etc. This type of course would have really helped me. And for me, I created this masterclass with the same thing in mind. I want that the G from 5 years ago received this masterclass, is somewhere in the planet, and would be able to boost his business, boost his growth. So what I've decided to offer is, okay, are you ready? Are you ready for me to share it? Let's see on the chat if you're still all there. Do you want the gift? Okay, okay, okay. I see a lot of yes. Okay, let me keep drinking water because I think my sales team is gonna kill me. All right, let's go. So it will be only today for $297. Let me give you a bit more context on this. The price will increase daily, meaning that tomorrow it will be $397, on Friday $497, $697, $797, and on May 10th it will be over. I'm not going to open the training after May 10th. I want this to be unique. You were thousands to join today, and I want us to keep this group of amazing people with an amazing energy, work all together on this 6 weeks program. You will have resources. All the videos will be online. You'll be able to access everything. And I want this to be really unique. Keep the same vibe, keep the same energy. So in total, it's 90% off, which is huge. I would never do something like this, but for me, because giving is more important than just the money, I wanted to do that especially for you. So how exactly are you going to get this? The thing, it's really important. You have two options. One, it's basically someone from my team will put this on the chat, a link that you can directly, where you can directly go. Okay, so, and the second thing is essentially, you can check also your emails. The idea for me is really to share. So now the checkout page has been put by essentially Kevin, but you can check your email and you will find it. And now I just want to check basically, so you have all access to the link to the masterclass. You can go, let me drink a bit of water, and I'll give you a bit more. Okay, so, okay, can someone from my team put the link again? On top of it, there is also another gift. Another gift, it's that, are you ready for it? There would be a 30 minutes private coaching session with me for the first people who will actually purchase it. So now I'm gonna turn off my phone for the notification just to see whenever we have a payment and we can see. Okay. Thank you, Sarah. Thank you, Mike. Thank you, Jason. Okay, so I see the 50 are gonna start being really, really quickly. Okay, okay. Okay, that's awesome. All right, I'm just gonna turn this off so we can basically go to the Q&A. So guys, it's amazing. It's really amazing to have you all here, and I'm really, really looking forward to it. Essentially, what you will get, I want to recap a bit clearly what you will get with this course, because after that we can go to the Q&A. You'll get lifetime access, to 34 actionable videos, exclusive resources, exclusive templates that you can reuse, bonuses, access to all course updates. I'll update this course regularly, and your access will be with all the updates. You'll get access to my private community on Slack. You will get weekly private calls for 6 weeks. Everything would be recorded, so you will have access to it. So a lot of people searching and reaching out with their own problems, etc. Again, price will increase daily. First 50 people will actually get, I will check with my team how many people start purchasing it. So wait, let me check on Slack. They're telling me to check this. So I've put something, so I'm alerted on Slack. I've cut everything. Okay, so here on my phone, it's all the people that have actually purchased. And as you can see, there are a lot of people who have just purchased the masterclass. So it's going to be amazing. I'm thinking that we are going to be very, very, very close to the 50 people in total. But in any case, I want really like the weekly calls are going to be amazing. I guess we're almost done with the I think there are a few seats left for the private calls. But again, everything's going to be amazing. We're going to be able to share tons of tips. The videos are extremely actionable. I'm really showing you step by step because for me, what's really important and what you can't find really in any other courses are the question, are the actually how exactly do you do it? How do you set up all these tools? How exactly do you find the people? And this was something I spent a lot of time to do, but I wanted for you to have it. So what you're going to get and what are you going to be able to do by the end of that masterclass? Get more replies to your cold email. Stand out from competitors. Book more meetings. Have a coffee with inspiring experts. Skyrocket your company's profits. Hire top industry experts. Find more clients. Land your dream job. All of these things are based on relationships. What I will show you is how to do that, both from the technical and from the very specific way of doing it up to the copywriting and more emotional part of it. So all your cold email struggle are gone. No more sending generic emails that don't get replies. No more, hey, first name, I'm doing XYZ. This is over. I'll give you step-by-step processes on what to apply, what to do. No more wasting time on crafting the perfect email that end up in the spam folder. No more stressed over not finding clients because to be honest, with this strategy, you'll build so many relationships that even if you don't have product market fit yet, you will find it because you will meet so many people that you'll get to that stage. In the early days, we were struggling, with our product market fit. But in the end, I met so many people using cold emails that I was able to adapt the messaging that I was going to test. So, last question for you. Do you have a cold emails framework that allows you to double your current sales meeting? Are your cold emails bringing you the profit that you want for your company? If you did not answer yes to both of those questions, then for me, you must join the masterclass. It's a no-brainer. And to be honest, it's just gonna stay like this. And we're gonna, as I said, increasing price on a daily basis. But again, this community and everything was pretty amazing. So I still want to go to the Q&A section and answer a couple of questions. So let me see. Okay, Zoom is lagging because we have so many people on the so I'm not sure I can find the questions. Can someone from my team send me or give me a few questions? Okay, I'm just asking someone from my team because I can't even open the Q&A because there are too many people.
Someone asked you, I just purchased it right away. Do you have a refund?
Okay. So refund policy, yeah, that's super important. Again, my goal is not to I don't know, if you buy it and don't use it, I have no interest in that. As I said, we're already making a lot of money. I just want to make a price entry just to make sure that the person joining are high quality. And for me, it was enough money as a first step. So essentially, yeah, refund policy, I think it's 13 or no, it's 14 days. If you don't use it for 14 days, you'll get refunded. So essentially what you can do, buy it, you'll get access, you can watch the video. If you think it's not worth your time nor your money and you don't enjoy the Slack community, the group calls, etc., then you're fine. We'll refund and there is no issue about that.
A lot of people are asking you what they can find in the Slack community.
Okay, so question about what we can find on the Slack community. The idea in the Slack community is to gather a lot of outreach experts. Some of them are already there actually. And eventually, whenever people are going through the course, they can ask all your questions. I've done my best and I've tested this training among a lot of people, but I want to make sure that everyone is getting the most out of it. So all these questions that we have in the community, we will potentially answer to that either directly in the community. So either me, my team of experts, or even other people from the community helping each other. And on top of it, during the weekly calls, we can go through some of the biggest topic and biggest struggles where you will be able to share also your struggle, your journey, or the things that are working well.
What's the difference between this course and other cold email courses?
Okay, so difference between this course and other cold email courses. Essentially,
I've tested before creating this course. My goal was not to recreate something that existed. If I had found a course that is actually really good, I would have said, okay, it's fine. We're just going to push toward people toward that course. That's fine. The content was there. The truth is that most people forget to create really actionable contents. My goal here with this course was that even my grandmother could go on that course and become a cold email expert. I break down things in the most simple way and in a very, very actionable way. So you just have to look at the video and do the exact same thing, whether it's on using the tools, crafting your cold emails, getting ideas on the different approach that you can use. I really wanted everything to be super smooth and super actionable for you guys and girls, obviously. Is there another question that we can answer? Not sure, like Zoom is
There are a lot of technical questions, but
okay. So a lot of technical questions.
if they can find
Ah,
the reply.
a lot of people ask about the story on the. Okay, so some people are asking questions on the chat. I can open the chat so far. Yeah, so you can pay in 3 times. I think we're going through Podia. So Podia is the LMS learning management system that can basically allow you to do this type of things. Can I extend to top 100? Top 100. If I spend like half an hour with everyone, this is usually the things I never do. But first 50, yeah. So does video work for C-suite? Of course, like this is for founders, salespeople, people working in marketing and growth. I typically like I crafted these things. Why? Because first I worked in the 3 positions I mentioned. I'm a founder. I also worked in growth. I also worked in sales, and essentially, I think there are still room. And eventually, like okay, you know what? You guys are all asking if we can push it to 100. I think we're actually close to 100 now of people buying, maybe even more. I'm losing count. I'm losing count, but essentially, like, let's push this to 100 people, and we're very close from it. Let's push the consulting call to 100 people. I will spread this over a month though, because otherwise I'm gonna be totally burned out. So let's go. Let's do this for now. You guys are driving me crazy. You want me to burn out, really? But again, like I love to learn, work on help you grow, help you get like more sales, etc. Thanks, Kevin, for checking and sending the link again. Some people were asking about the story of the scarf. It's just coming from since I was a kid. I never I keep it all the time. Oh, okay. So people are asking like price increase. The real reason, to be honest, is that that course is worth much more. I've done this course already, actually, like not the exact same thing, but I would say like 70% of or 60% of the course I've tested it in the past on the French market, and this course was sold at 1,200 euros, which is about like $1,500. So the thing is, I wanted to make something super exclusive for this webinar because I like, whenever people are grinding hard. Right now, it's everywhere in the world. You might be, like during your workday or after hour or this type of things, but you're watching a webinar, which shows for me that you're a grinder, that you want to succeed, that you want to do things differently. People who are learners should be rewarded. And my goal for this was that people who are right now with us in this webinar should be rewarded, and the reward is an insane price. To be honest, it's just insane. So the idea behind all of that is that the price will increase. Obviously, yes, it will increase with FOMO. Price is increasing tomorrow and the day after, but the truth is that I want the grinders to be rewarded. You don't get anything in life without the effort. So I want people that understand that they will get the best of the best with this masterclass, that they're going to basically be able to really generate more revenue, have something predictable, and on top of it, have a lot of fun, because building relationship is amazing. I want you at the end of this course to be able to say, I can reach out to anyone. I can reach out to anyone, have a call, a coffee, an interview, or whatever, and really be a different person. The reason why I want to do that is you might not see it right now, but because I've got a lot of energy and everything, but I used to be an introvert. For me, talking to other people, like my mom, she's an Italian mom, so she was like teaching me the right manners, etc. And she was telling me, like whenever you talk to people, you need to be like super polite. Whenever you're talking to, like never say no to like people, ask things in a polite way. And for me, I've always think that talking to people that I didn't know was in some sorts a bit embarrassing, and I was embarrassed about doing that. But with cold emails, I totally changed my vision of everything. I started reaching out to people I didn't know. I started meeting people I thought I would never been able to meet. And for me, it has opened so many doors in the last years that I want you to have the same feeling, and I want you to strive, succeed. And if you're here today and staying until the end, it means that you are the real grinders. So, guys, it was a real pleasure having you all here today. I'm hoping that you took the most out of this masterclass. For those of you who are not gonna be basically joining the masterclass, I really hope that at least you got a lot of value from this course. Again, for me, or for this webinar, because for me it's important that at the end you're just going out with something super valuable. So guys, I love you all. I wish you an extremely pleasant day, a really good evening if you are like based in Europe, or a pleasant day if you're based in the US. Tiramisu all the way. Make something sweet. No matter what you do after, make sure to always build relationships. Make sure to meet new people on a weekly basis. Make sure to network. Your network is your net worth. That's super important. Keep that in mind. Keep that in mind. Okay, guys and girls, I love you all. Have an amazing day. Take care. Up. Oh yeah, actually I realized I was sharing my screen. So have an amazing day, everyone. Take care.